WordPress is one of the best blogging platforms in the world. In this lesson, we're going to look at setting up a WordPress blog on your own web host. Step number 1, getting WordPress. The first thing you'll need to do is download WordPress. You can do this by going to wordpress.org and simply clicking on Download. Putting WordPress on your host. The next thing you'll need to do is upload WordPress, to your host. First, extract the WordPress download somewhere you can access it. Then log into your web host with FTP and upload the files to your main web folder. Get the database details. Before you actually set up WordPress, you will require your database details from your web host. You may have received them in a welcome email, or you may have to access them in your host's control panel. If no database details were provided, but you have access to a database control panel, you may need to add a database and user yourself. If you're not sure, check with your web host's support. Setting up WordPress. Now, for the world-famous WordPress 5-minute install. If you now go to your website, for example, http://fillerama-example.com, you'll be greeted with a message, probably complaining about the lack of a wp-config file. Go ahead and click Create a Configuration File. Next, you will be greeted with the main install screen. Double check you have all your database details, then click Let's Go. In the next screen, you must enter the database details. If your web host has not specified anything different for database host, leave it at localhost. Also, unless you know what you're doing, leave table prefix as wp_. Once you're sure your database details are correct, click Submit. WordPress will try to connect to the database. If it can't, it will give you an error message. Double check your database details and try again. If you're 100% sure they're correct but WordPress still won't connect, contact your web host support. The next screen will let you enter some important details regarding your site. The title of your site, don't worry, you can change this later. Your main user that you will use to log in to the editing panel of WordPress, your password for this user, and your email address. Double check this. It's very important to get your email right because that's where it will send all the mail if you forget your password. And that's it. All you have to do now is actually click Install. And done. Your install is done. It was really that easy. Now, your first WordPress steps. Now that the install is done, you'll be greeted with your admin login page. From now on, whenever you want to make edits to your WordPress site, you can log in at the admin panel, which is your host /wp-admin. Use the username and password you set up during the install. From here, you'll be all set to go in your brand new WordPress install. Finally, you can preview your main site by clicking on the site title, for example, a Fillerama example site, in the top left corner. Happy blogging! Time for today's lesson summary. In this lesson, we took a look at how to download and set up WordPress on your own web host. The main steps we covered were getting WordPress, putting WordPress on your host, getting your database details, setting up WordPress, your first WordPress steps. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.